Hello, my name is Bill Jarrett, and I'm doing lab activity 3.3.2 out of the book, which is configuring, verifying, and troubleshooting VLANs. And the first thing it tells me to do is to throw a couple devices out there and hook them all up. So we're going to throw out a router. Let's throw one of the puppies out there, and then a switch. One of them, and then we need some end devices like some PCs. The next thing it tells me to do, those lined up, is to hook them all up together and configure them accordingly using, all network device passwords, VTY console, and enable equals Cisco, and enable secret will be class. Alright. And we have to rename these devices. The router will be R1, the switch will be S1, the host will be 1A, and the other host will be 1B. Okay, so to connect everything up, it's asking us to connect the router's Fast Ethernet 00 interface to the switch Fast Ethernet 8 using a straight through cable. So we'll go ahead and do that. Grab a straight through. 00 to 08. Done. Next, we're going to go ahead and hook up our host, what's going to be host 1A, to Fast Ethernet 2 on the switch. Okay. And this one would be Fast Ethernet 3. And we need to connect the console cable to either 1A or 1B to configure the router and or switch. So we'll connect them to this guy, to the console. Okay, now I got to rename some of these devices. So I'm going to come here to the PCs first and set some things up. He's no longer going to be PC2. He's going to be host 1A. 1A, done. And we're going to go ahead and set his IP address to be 172.16.1.10, and it'll set his IP or his subnet mask automatically. So it's done. I can get out of there. We'll come over here to make him host 1B. 1B. Okay, set his IP address to be 172.16.11. There we go. Okay, he's all done. Now that we've done that, I can go up here to the router, and we're going to go ahead and configure him now. Now I could change him here just by simply, let me do this real quick. We want to give him a host name of R1. And the way how we do that is actually pretty simple. We would simply just go into the CLI here, and we can do it from here, or we can just do it here, and I can just type in R1 and change it to R1 and then say enable, or it will actually create the commands, which would be enable conf t host name R1. So I'll go ahead and do that just to show you. R1, and watch when you go to the CLI, it automatically does it for you. Let's see, it said enable, configure terminal, and the host name R1, and took care of it for us. So you can do it either way. Some people find it easier to do it in other ways, but now I'm going to try to set the IP address here. In fact, just to show you that it's not currently set. As you can see, here's all the basic physical data, and if I were to go to my Ethernet, you can see here on that there's no IP address. There's nothing to set yet. So we're going to go ahead and configure a few things from here. So since I'm already in the global configuration mode, so to speak, and I've gone from there to interface Fast Ethernet 00, I can now set the IP address for him. Okay. Now the IP address is going to be, there we go, 192 or 17 excuse me, 172.16.1.1. And then he'll have a subnet of 255, 255, 255, 0. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's right. Okay, so I've set him to look correctly now. Alright. Now that we've done that, we can exit out. And if you were to actually come back now and look under configuration, you can see that the IP address is now set in there. Okay, our port status is not on yet, so we would basically throw a no shut command, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on it from here just so you can see. We can turn it on from there, and look, if we come back, you see the no shut command was issued. So interface 00 is now active. His state has been changed up. We're still in his configuration mode. So I'm going to exit out of that interface. I'm going to exit one more time. Say copy run start just to save everything so we don't lose it. Okay, so now we're looking good. Now from here, I'm just going to go back in here for a minute because I want to configure a few more things while I'm here. Okay, I want to set up a couple passwords on this device. So on router 1, we're going to say enable password. I'm going to make it be Cisco, like the book says. Okay, and while we're at it, we're going to enable the secret. Secret. And that'll be class. Okay, that's done. Now I want to, let's see here, line con 0. Okay, now we're going to configure line, and I'm going to say password is going to be Cisco again. Okay, and login. I want to be active at login. There we go. I'm going to say exit. And while I'm at it, I want to do line BTY as well. 04. Password should be Cisco. Exit. I want to do BTY. Uh, 515. And again, password should be Cisco. Okay. Copy, run, start. Okay. I think I've got everything now. So if we look at our configuration here, fast Ethernet 00, we can see that everything is set up correctly the way that we think it should be. In fact, I want to take a look at my running configuration. There we go. Okay, we can see that our hostname is R1 like it's supposed to be. Password is Cisco like it's supposed to be. Secret's enabled. Fast Ethernet 00 has been configured to be 172.168.1.1, and interface FA01 we haven't set yet. VLAN 1 haven't set. There we go. Line con 0, password is Cisco. Line VTY, his password is Cisco. And the same, I messed up. 515 is supposed to be Cisco, not Cisco. So I better change that. Always a good idea to double check your work, right? So, VTY 515. Oh, line VTY. checking our work, make sure everything got changed the way that we want it to be. Okay, now everything's right. Beautiful. Okay, so we have configured basic configuration on the router. Let's see, we've connected a PC to it. We've configured with a host name and a console, telnet, and privileged passwords. And we're configured fast Ethernet port. And we've brought the interface up, and we've used the IP address. Alright, now we can move on to the switch. So we'll go ahead and get out of here. Excellent. Next is we want to get into the switch and configure it. Again, we can change a lot of stuff right from here, but we're not going to. I'm just going to change the name of it from that. But the host name and everything I'm going to do inside the CLI. I showed you before, you could actually do it from back here. But we're not going to. So we're going to change the name of everything using the command line interface. Okay, so it's already been enabled. The conft has already been thrown. So we're going to say host name is going to be S1. And we're going to go ahead and enable the password. Cisco. And enable secret. Class. Line con 0. And again, now that we're in config line, we can say password is going to be Cisco again. And login. We can exit out of config line, back to global configuration mode, and I'm going to say interface VLAN 1. Set the IP address for that VLAN to be 172. This is for our switch, by the way. 1612. Remember that the router was 1.1, so the switch is 1.2. So, and then of course, 255.255.255.0 for our subnet mask. We'll throw a no shut, which will open the port. Okay, it's now state of up, which is good. Now let's set the IP default gateway back to our router. Default gateway to be 172.16.1.1. Okay, so we've done that. And I'm going to say copy, run, start, save all my configuration data. Okay, so now that we've done all that, oh, wait a minute. Config line. Oh, I forgot to do one. Let me go back into configuration mode again. I want to throw in line VTY. 04. Thought I already did this, but password Cisco. Oh, darn it. Oh, lots of instructions. Okay, exit. Alright, where am I? There. Let's take a look here. Show VLAN. see where we're at. Okay, we see VLAN 1 is active, and we can enter again. Okay, let's go ahead and set a few more VLANs. Conf T. VLAN 20 is what I want to throw up next. And we're going to give this one a name. And his name is going to be Fred. Okay, so now we've given him a name. I can go ahead and exit out. I'm going to make myself another VLAN. Call it VLAN 30. And it's going to have a name too. It's going to be Wilma. Okay, I can exit out of there. Exit. Okay, and while I'm at it, let's go ahead and save where I'm at. Now that I've created them, I'm going to show the VLAN so you can see that they have been created and are waiting for more instructions. There's Fred and Wilma created right there. Okay, next up, I'm going to start setting some switch port stuff. So, interface, we'll need to go to conf T first. Okay, interface, FA 0/2, switch port mode access. Mode. So we're configuring basically Fast Ethernet port 2 on our switch. We're configuring the mode of that particular port to be access. And while we're at it, switch port access be for VLAN 20. Okay, next we're going to set up an interface range, which is a lot like configuring one interface. The only difference is we're configuring a range of interfaces, and this will be with Fast Ethernet ports 0/3 through 8. So ports 3 through 8 should all be configured at the same time with the same values, which will be, again, switch port mode access. Okay, and switch port access for VLAN 30. Okay, change state down. Go back and check here. Alright, well, notice that when we set all this up, we didn't get any messages here. When we set up a switch port range for FA03 through 8, that switch port access VLAN 30, that it says line protocol interface VLAN 1, change state to down, switch 1. Interesting. We need to pay attention to this kind of stuff, because this might come back to bite us in the butt later. Alright. So, I can say end, because I want to get all the way out. And I'm going to say copy, run, start. Okay, so it's all saved. Let's say show running config. Might help you put a hyphen there. Very picky language sometimes. Okay, so we can see hostname is S1 like it's supposed to be. Secrets enabled. Password is Cisco. Interface for Fast Ethernet 01. Then here we see 02 is for VLAN 20. Switch port mode is access like it's supposed to be. And then we should see for 3 through 8 should be switch port access for VLAN 30. And so far so good, looking good, outstanding. Alrighty. There's our interface for VLAN 1, IP address, and our default gateway is set correctly. Okay, that's good. LineCon 0, BTY, all have passwords of Cisco. I think we're looking good here. Alright, now we can also look at our configurations a little differently. We can say show VLAN. This will show all VLANs. So we can see 120 and 30. All of them are showing as active, which is good. Then we can also say, let's suppose that we want to hone in a little bit on a little bit shorter message here. Show VLAN brief. That's just a brief overview. And then if we want to look at specifics, we can say show VLAN, come here you, VLAN ID 30. So there's VLAN 30. Or we can say show VLAN name Fred. So we can look at this by name or by ID. So 20 or by name. So either way you can look at them. Any way that you want to. Alright, so now that we've done all this wonderful stuff, let's go out here and try to do some pinging. Now we're going to start off by starting from host 1B, which is right here. And we're going to try to ping the router first, which has the address of 172.16.1.1. Let's see what we get. So we got a reply. Outstanding. Okay. Next, we're going to try to ping host 1A, which has an address of .10, if you remember right. So 172.16.1.10. Pinging away. We got a timeout. Timeout. Another timeout. And timeout. Okay, outstanding. So we were able to ping from 1B to the router, but not to PC, or not to host 1A. So let's try to go from 1A. Oops. And try to ping the router. And we're pinging. And we got a timeout. Another timeout. And another timeout. And they all four timed out. Okay. So now, what we'll try to do next is change some of our VLANs around to figure out why things just didn't happen right. The book's telling me to reassign port Fast Ethernet 3 from VLAN 30 to VLAN 20 and see what happens. So we'll go to the switch, open that up. We're all set to go here. I should be able to go in now into global configuration mode. Conf T. Now that we're there, I'm going to go ahead and manipulate Fast Ethernet 3 0/3 and change him. And change it to switch port access VLAN 20. Alright. End. Okay, I'm going to say copy run start, so I don't lose everything. COPY run start there. Okay, now we've changed that. Let's go ahead and verify that that change has happened. So say show VLAN, and we can see that port 20 or VLAN 20 Fred now also has Fast Ethernet 2 and 3 on Fred. Now this is kind of important. Why? Because before, FA3 used to be under Wilma, okay, which is totally different. And if you remember right, when you look at our switch here, our configuration, as far as what's hooked up to what, Fast Ethernet 2 goes to a PC, and so does Fast Ethernet 3. Fast Ethernet 4 through 8 does not. So he's hooked up through Fast Ethernet 2, and he's hooked up through Fast Ethernet 3. So now we should have total connectivity throughout. So we're going to try to ping all our different devices and see what happens. Let's go to our command prompt and we'll try pinging the router again. Ping 172.16.1.1. Why aren't you working? Okay, make a fool out of me. So it says we cannot ping the router from host 1B. Let's try pinging the switch. 172.16.1.2, or more specifically, the VLAN. So we're not getting anywhere. Okay, now we're going to try to ping .10 and see if we can get them. And we're getting a reply. So now, what we figured out is we cannot ping the switch, nor can we ping the router, but somehow we can ping through to host 1A. And if we were to come over here and try to do the same thing, darn it, here we go. Let's try pinging our partner across the way. Ping 172.16.1.11. We're getting replies. Then we're going to try to ping 172.16.1.1. Actually, we'll try the switch first. Looks like we're not going to get it. Come on, faster, please. And last but not least, we'll try to ping 172.16.1.1, the router itself. Last but not least, we'll have the router try to ping the switch. Oops, need to get out of here. Come up here to the router and then find out if the router can ping the switch. I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to try it. Okay, it looks like it didn't get anything. Alright, so now it tells me to remove VLAN 30. So to remove VLAN 30, what I'm going to have to do is go back to the switch, open it up. Boy, there's a lot of instructions in this. And I need to exit out here and get back to global configuration mode. Alright, we're going to get rid of VLAN 30. And it wants me to show that we've got rid of it. So show VLAN. And we see that there's no more wall mount. She's gone. Okay. And of course our ports that were previously assigned are not assigned to anything now, it looks like. I don't see ports 4 through 8 anywhere on the screen at all. Interesting. Okay. And this concludes this exercise.